All right, Dave is here. You showed me this device last night, and you seem pretty psyched for it.
I think it's pretty interesting.
This is the Belkin Flywire, right, Dave?
Yep. So this is wireless HDMI. And if you think about it, HDMI is one cable to rule them all.
Right. Your audio, your video, all through one.
Through one cable, right. But half the time, if you have a flat panel on the wall, you don't want that cable snaking up through the wall to drive the beautiful display that you have behind you, right? So Belkin's come up with this. It's a 5 gigahertz wireless technology, and you put this transmitter in your rack next to your Wii, your PS3, your HD TiVo, whatever, and then you take a little receiver and you mount the receiver behind the TV on the wall.
Okay.
Now that seems like a good idea, but then you have this big power brick that you have to plug in as well, right?
Well, theoretically, you probably had power for the TV running somewhere as well, so hopefully you could snake it through.
That's right. So this gets buried in your wall.
Okay.
And it uses 802.11, not 802.11n, but a technology that's compatible. It won't screw up your 802.11n.
Now, see, why would they do that? Because I like standards. I'm like, even though it isn't completely finalized, I think 802.11 great, the fast Wi-Fi. Why did they go off and do their own thing?
I think this is a consortium with a handful of companies that got together to come up with this new 5 gigahertz technology. And the reason why you wouldn't want it to run on your network is if you had a full HD 1080p signal going across your network traffic, it would just bring it to a crushing halt.
Right. You're not checking emails or sending IMs or torrenting hentai anymore. you're hoping and praying that high-def signal doesn't drop out.
That's right. But what's really neat about this, though, is all of the inputs on the back of it.
Yeah,
you can hook up
everything here.
Low def, high def, even some of the stuff like component gets up-converted to whatever your 1080i.
I was just going to ask that. So if you've got the Wii, in addition to your PS3 and the 360, it'll actually take that Wii signal, up-convert it in the air, it pops out on the other end.
In HDMI with audio. And what's really neat is one of the HDMI ports has separate audio. So if you have an older device, like you want to hook up your computer to your flat panel, you can run the audio out of the computer and use a DVI to HDMI adapter, which is like a $20 item. And
it'll combine the two in the stream and then jack it through the HDMI.
Right.
That's great. Now, what about setup, though? Because, I mean, do I have to hook this up to a computer to configure it? Is it truly plug and play?
It's truly plug and play, and it requires no pairing like Bluetooth. It's auto pairing. And what's neat, too, is there's an SD slot on the side. So if you download new firmware for this, you can just take that firmware, put it on the same kind of memory card that your camera uses, pop it in, and then upload the new firmware, and then remove the card, and then upload the next one.
Okay, so that sounds awesome. It sounds like it's going to declutter the living room, but are there any drawbacks?
The drawback right now is cost. It's $1,500 for this thing.
Okay,
so what they're saying is a custom install would be about $3,000. So by going this route, you don't need the custom installation at your house.
Except for the power brick that you need to hide in your wall, along with the souls of the children. Okay.
Wireless power is what we're going to have that at CES 2010.
Wait. Yeah, I can't. Well, we'll tease it now, and we'll get there in 20 years. All right, next up we have the Excite Touch Remote. This is from Acoustic Research. And I keep hearing how amazing universal remotes are going to be. I've used the Pronto Neo. I've used the Harmony one. I mean, they're okay.
They're nice. Harmony, they won the game, but it still required a geek like us to sit and hook it up to your laptop, run through the program. And I love that it was web configurable, but it still was a pain. And if you switched out hardware, I can't tell you how many times.
Back to the computer, plug it in, search for that cable. There you go. So how are they solving the problem here?
So this is built by the same company that makes most of the remote controls for your cable boxes, your satellite boxes. So they have all the codes. They have thousands of codes pre-programmed into this. So now you get it out of the box and you can go through the setup on its 2.2-inch screen. You don't have to go to the setup on the web. Now, the good news is to future-proof this, it has a USB jack on the side. And you can tie in, you can update, you can also do some fine tweaking because some devices, you might have a delay that you want to add or some extra buttons.
Well, when you're macroing, you want to wait for that DVD player to fire up before you click menu or whatever.
Right.
So it is future-proof. So for those who are freaking out, the codes are preloaded, I buy the latest cutting-edge receiver, theoretically, I'll be able to upload it.
That's right. And it's got a touchscreen on top and this really innovative slider method, too. So you can have multiple pages of content buried or nested within. And it's pretty clever, and I really like the industrial design because they kept all of the buttons in large format, and they've backlit it.
All right, so will this be at Casa de Dave anytime soon? Is this something you'd recommend to people?
I think so. I think because the code base is built in, this is an upgrade to the Harmony line of remote controls. And at $250, it seems like a pretty good deal.
Awesome.
It's well in line with those products.
Very, very nice, Dave. Always a pleasure, sir. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming on and showing off these products.